finally picked up a pair of Nikes and I thought, hey, this is gonna be cool. I'm gonna share a pair of Nikes with the channel and it's not gonna be a pair of Ultra Boost. But today's review is so disappointing I had to get some coffee beforehand to get through it. So here are the Air Max 720s. That's the box tag. This is the box, and this is the most exciting thing about the shoe, in my opinion. And before we go any further, let me let you know that I'm not a Nike hater. I actually, if somebody said pick a brand, Nike or Adidas, I would sway pretty heavily still toward Nike, probably now because of the nostalgia. And I know that's, I guess, a shitty thing to do for lack of better terms, but I grew up on Nike. Everything I wore from like age 10 on until I, got into skating and all that stuff was Nike. And that's all I ever wore. With that said, let's dive into these, and I'll try not to sound too disappointed through the whole video. So like I said, we've got the Air Max 720. They are the women's colorway of the two OG colorways that came out, because I didn't get the original, or I'm sorry, I didn't get the men's colorway off of sneakers, because I never cop anything off of sneakers, which kind of makes me think, why the hell do I still favor Nike? But anyway, pick up the women's colorway because I wanted to do two things. One, try them on, see how I feel about them, and two, share them with you guys. So here we go. I went with a 10.5. It says 11.5 because it's a women's, but that's pretty comparable to a men's 10.5. And I tried on the men's 10.5, and I'd say true to size is okay. Toe box is a little snug, which I think is the popular opinion throughout everybody who did get these, like them or dislike them. So like I said, the packaging is probably the coolest thing. There's the shoes right there. Underneath the shoes, you've got this cool foil instead of tissue, and just super reflective all throughout the top of the box. Inner packaging was the most exciting thing about it. So Nike, keep packaging shoes like this in black boxes with reflective wording and branding and all of that, and I'll probably keep buying the shoes. Let's get rid of the tissue paper, which is just as bulky as the air bubble. Here they are in all their glory and whatever else you want to call it. This shoe could have been everything I hoped it could have been, or should have been, or would have been, had they done a lot different. So anyway, like I said, here they are. Both shoes are exactly the same. This is the women's colorway, metallic silver and midnight navy, I believe is what they are being called. Go with the left shoe as we typically always do. The upper from the toe box all the way back to the heel is a single mesh, pretty padded, and I'm not exactly sure what the material is, but as you can see up close right there, the padding is also doubled as, I guess, the pattern that they use throughout the entire shoe. Right up on top of the toe box, you do have a mini Nike swoosh. That's where the branding starts. On the very front of the toe box, you've got a hardened piece of plastic, just an aesthetic piece, as well as something probably a little protectant to the top of your toes right there. The middle lateral portion of the shoe, right up above the air bubble, you've got another plastic Nike swoosh. Above that, you've got where that midnight navy comes in, and that's just another mesh piece. Aside from aesthetics, I don't think this really does anything here. Little hits of that same navy all throughout, mesh navy. 2 on the back panel and 1 on the medial side of the shoe, just like the outer lateral portion. Coming to the back, you've got a pull tab featuring another Nike swoosh. They did a good job of spreading out the swooshes throughout the shoe. You've got a completely detached mesh tongue featuring Air Max branding up top right there. First thing I'll talk about, I don't like shoes that have completely detached tongues. I'd rather they added some elastic in there just to keep it in place. For me, I don't know if everybody has the problem, but when I put a pair of shoes on, even if I'm just walking around and the tongue is detached, it does tend to sway side to side, and I've got to keep, pulling it back to the midpoint. The good thing that they did do is add a little loop right here for the laces. So if you do tie them up tight, it will probably stay in place a little better. But I typically wear my shoes pretty loose unless I'm running in them. So while we're up here on the tongue, you've got those same midnight navy colored cotton laces. The laces I like cotton laces because you can just do a little more with them. They're not as stiff. They tend to do what you want when you tie them and fall where you want. So that's definitely a plus as far as this shoe goes. Insole is not necessarily removable. It's glued down, Air Max branding inside the insole. You wouldn't really want to pull the insole out of these anyways because you're gonna lose all the padding that the insole provides because these are built upon a last. You know, it's not just an air bubble down there with all kinds of cushion. And air is a pretty dated technology as it is, even though they keep updating it, which I do appreciate, but you're still not gonna wanna wear these without an insole, you know, so it's not the shoes we're used to where I say just pull the insole and it'll still be just as comfy. It is an Air Max at the end of the day. I think that pretty much covers the upper. Inner lining is a nylon-ish material. Same midnight navy color that we've had hits of throughout the shoe already. And from there, we will head down to the midsole. Before I get there, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up. Right below that heel strap, it does say 720, which is similar to the 270s if you ever had a pair of those. I had a pair of 270s and I was just as disappointed in those as I am these. Man, I feel bad because I feel like I'm just beating this shoe up. It has potential, it definitely does, and maybe they have plans for changes, I don't know. But all I've seen is a bunch of colorways and this will be the last pair I pick up unless major changes take place. Let's head down to the midsole, which is a full-length air bubble. That was what I was excited about. What I got deterred from instantly was how thick it was, especially in the heel. Putting it on is just kind of ridiculous. It sits ridiculously high and bulky. When I'm walking, I was almost tripping over the shoe just because you got to make sure you really lift this guy off the ground when you're walking, and it just felt awkward to me, I guess. Is the best way to put it. So if it were me, I'm not a shoe designer, but what I disliked was how thick the bubble is back here, especially in the heel. I would have taken it down a quarter of an inch maybe, if possible, because I feel like you still would have got the cushioning that they were after, and I would have brought this all the way in. Looking back at your shoe or at your heel when you have it on and you've got an extra almost inch sticking out, just felt weird to me. And just looking back on it, just super bulky from the backside. I did not like that at all. So that was my big quarrel with it. Heading down from there, I guess, to what you would call the outsole, you've got a single piece of foam running through the midpoint right here. It is branded with Air Max, midnight navy as well. Very soft in the heel area, which I think adds a ton of cushion to the back portion of the shoe altogether. And then just a supportive rubber piece on the forefoot, underneath the forefoot right there, just to keep a little traction and durability. And then on the outer portion of the air bubble, there is a thicker rubber liner, also traction, also durability and longevity. So you're not just beating that air bubble up. So like I said, I really wanted to like the shoe. I had picked up the male colorway as well, and they're already gone. What I would have done if I was them is I would have tried to update the Flyknit technology, you know, give us a more updated, softer Flyknit, made the shoe out of Flyknit, thinned out the air bubble, brought the air bubble into the back panel, you know, even it out, and just something more minimal. This is just very bulky, and I get that Air Maxes have been bulky forever, but in my mind, or my opinion, that doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. Update the tech, update the technology, update the look, and I think the shoe would have had a lot more potential, you know? So that's just my opinion. I might be the only one hating on these. I'm not 100% sure. Nike, I still love you. If anybody from Nike sees this video, you know, look, I've got Nike shorts, a hoodie. I'm wearing some free runs right now. I don't dislike the brand. I just dislike this shoe, and I really wanted to like it. So retail, I believe, was $180, came out to around 200 shipped. You can find them discounted on various boutique sites that still have them in stock. Like I said, overall, just not a fan. If you are gonna keep them, comfort was somewhere around a 6.5, 7 for me, but like I said, just very bulky. So lifting it off the ground, it's a heavy shoe. If you have any more questions, comments, concerns about the shoe, I will definitely answer them to the best of my ability. Leave them in the comments section down below. So one more time, true to size is my thoughts on sizing. Retail was 180 plus tax USD. Not very high. I mean, high in the grand scheme of things, but pretty comparable to what we are used to paying for, you know, other things like Ultra Boosts and other shoes that have new technology going into them. And then comfort, 6.5, high 6s at best. And that's gonna do it for me and the Air Max 720. Like I said, any questions, anything, leave them down below in the comment section. I will do my best to answer them. I will definitely still put these on feet, give you guys an on-foot look at them. That's gonna do it for me today. Appreciate each and every one of you for checking out the channel every single time. For those of you who haven't, hit that subscribe button. Thumbs up if you appreciated the video and or anything I've talked about today. Guys, I'll see you next time. Until then, peace out.